Hello everyone, welcome to this next video. In this video, I'm going to be going over 5 signs as to why you probably aren't ready to start a business yet, or if you've already started a business, why you're probably not going to scale anytime soon. Now, let's get straight into it. Number 1, lack of passion or commitment. Now, you might automatically think that, nah, I already have the passion. You need to understand, when it comes to starting a business, scaling business, effort is required. And I don't mean subtle effort. I don't mean, I put 2 hours aside a day to run my business like every single day. I mean effort. Like, a business is not a small fish. Imagine like going fishing and you're catching like a big blue whale. Well, maybe not a blue whale, that's gigantic, but like, I don't know, killer whale. That's what running a business is like. You're going through hardships to make things work. And people underestimate the amount of effort, the amount of passion, and amount of commitment that's required for you to make a business work. People tend to think, if I put an hour aside every day, although it's better than putting nothing in a day, yeah, sure. Put in an hour a day, put in 2 hours a day, but it needs as much effort, attention, resources, everything that you can list. It's obviously dependent on the business, of course. It might not need money, but it needs time, right? And I said this in my last video, where if you feel like you've got nothing to do within a business because you've done everything that you could, you're most certainly wrong. Because time is what you can't have enough of when it comes to running a business. And what I mean by that is there's always something to do. Like, you never have enough time to do everything. Hence why you'll see people who are making 100K per month off whatever business they're running are still working, right? They're still creating content, or they're still running the business in some shape or form. It never stops. And that's what people fail to understand. So whether you're a beginner at, 2K per month or 5K per month or even, 25K per month, this is something you need to understand. It's a huge, huge aspect of scaling the business to new heights, right? You need to be able to push yourself. If you've only been putting in 2 hours a day, you need to increase that to 3, right? I'm not saying increase it to 8. I'm not saying quit your job or quit whatever it is you're doing and increase it straight to 8, but at least understand that it requires a lot and we never have enough time to do it. It's within your best interest to put in as much time as you possibly can. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 is financial instability. This is one of the common things that people tend to not understand when it comes to running a business. Now, I'm not saying that, every business requires you to be financially stable, but your mind does. And what I mean by that is, in my personal opinion, and a lot of people will agree with me, having financial instability and, the worries and stresses of not having money, so maybe you're in debt, maybe you haven't paid the bills or whatever it may be, is probably one of the worst stresses you can have alongside running a business. And what will tend to happen if you don't have financial stability is it will hinder your success. It will make you fall off the path of success. You may have been going on the perfect path towards 10K per month, 20K per month, but if a financial problem hits you along the way, it will misguide you massively. So what I personally recommend is, if you're going to start a business, regardless of whether the business needs money to start up or not, have some sort of financial stability. Have your debts paid off. Have your bills paid off. Have some sort of cash flow coming in, whether it's from a part-time job, full-time job, whatever it may be. And I don't care if you have some sort of pride or ego where you're like, nah, I don't want to work a job. Well, then you don't want to work a job, you're not going to make a lot of money, right? We all had to come from somewhere. If you go on my LinkedIn, for example, you'll see before I started any business, I was in and out of jobs, and they weren't the most pleasant jobs either. Now, number 3, fear of failure. Again, pretty self-explanatory, pretty obvious. You might think that by now. But what people tend to not understand in the moment is that failure is inevitable. People understand, yeah, I'm going to hit roadblocks, yeah. But when it comes to hitting the roadblocks, they're like, I need to give up. What am I going to do now? This is not working out. Let me change business model. Here's a new shiny object, Amazon FBA. Let me do that instead. That's easier than what I'm doing now. It's not. There's going to be failure in every single thing that you do. And if you don't have any failures now, if you haven't hit any roadblocks and you're making 10K per month, you're going to hit it soon. You're going to hit it at some point and you'll realize the hard way if you don't realize it now. Failure is inevitable regardless of what business you're trying to run, regardless of what business you're trying to start. And that's why I always tell people, there's no business better or worse than any other. Maybe there is. But if you really want my advice, you need to think as if there's not. Because you need to understand, if you're comparing, let's say you do Amazon FBA now, and you're comparing Amazon FBA to another business, right? Maybe you've been doing Amazon FBA for a few months and you're finding it a bit too difficult and you're looking at SMMA and you're like, maybe that's an easier business model. The cons of Amazon FBA and the pros of Amazon FBA are going to be extremely different to SMMA. And what I mean by that is SMMA is going to have its own cons, right? It's going to have its own difficulties. Maybe you're struggling to get to 10K per month for Amazon FBA. Maybe you won't struggle as much with SMMA, but with SMMA, it's probably going to be a lot harder for you to scale to 20K per month maybe. That's just an example, but you get what I mean? You need to understand that with every single thing that you do, failure is inevitable, difficulty is inevitable as well. Number 4, and as you can see, I'm trying to get straight to the point. I want this to be a short video, short, snappy, straight to the point. But again, these are important things to take in. Number 4 is resistance to learning. In fact, I'll add to it, resistance to learning and resistance to change. What I mean by that is a lot of people are firm believers of their current beliefs. We've all been raised in a certain way, right? Whether that's our environment, our friends, our family, our religion, everything around us has shaped us to who we are today. What we believe in. Whether we believe, fizzy drinks are bad for us. Whether we believe carbs are bad for you, or protein is good for you, or this religion is right, this religion is wrong, or this car is better than this car. It's all stemmed, Ronaldo's better than Messi, or Messi's better than Ronaldo. It all stems from one place or another, right? It could have been your friends that influenced you. It could have been the way you've been brought up. It could have been the football team that you used to play for when you were younger. It all came from some place. But that doesn't mean everything that you believe in is true. Matter of fact, probably nothing that you believe in is true. Because everything that you believe in is true to a certain extent. As we both know, if you were to compare political parties, for example, we were to compare Donald Trump and Joe Biden, there's going to be people that are 100% Trump, people that are 100% Biden. Now, we both know, although I don't like to get into politics, I'm not into politics, I have no idea who's right and who's wrong. We both know that there's probably some things about Donald Trump that are, right. And there's some about Joe Biden that are right. But we also both know that there's some things that are wrong with both. But then there's people who will support them 100%. Why? You shouldn't. I feel like, speaking about politics, the world would probably be a way better place if we were to come up with a political party that brings all the right things from either party and just puts them together, right? And eliminates the wrong things. But we can't. We're stuck with binary beliefs that we think everything that we personally believe in is right and everything that we personally believe is wrong. When you shouldn't. You need to do it on a spectrum where it's like, how true is this? Or how right is this? How wrong is this? As we both know, too much of anything is bad for you. So you might say water is healthy, but there's probably a limit to how much water you can drink. I think there was a story of like a girl who passed away by drinking too much water. And that's because it's true to an extent that water is good for you. Up until a point, you drink too much. Hopefully that's making sense. So it's the same thing with business or anything. If you're resistant to change or resistant to learning something against what you currently know, it's going to hinder your success. It's going to stop you from progressing. You need to be willing to take on beliefs that are different from what you currently believe in now. I'll give you an example, right? In my space, there's a lot of debate as to whether paid marketing is better than organic or organic marketing is better than paid. How true is either statement? Organic is probably very good to a certain extent in comparison to paid in certain aspects, right? There are certain things that organic can do that paid can't, meaning organic is better than paid in certain aspects or from a certain point of view. But then again, same with paid ads. Paid ads is better than organic from a certain point of view in certain aspects. But people are not willing to take that on board. And hence why you see me doing both paid and organic marketing for my business if you watch my last videos, because I can understand that. I can understand that everything has a limit to how true it may be or how wrong it may be. Okay? And that's something you need to take on as well. Be willing to learn and take anything on board. And you can make a judgment as to whether it's true or not and how true it is or how false it is based off what you learn. Okay? The only way you're going to figure that out is if you are willing to learn. Okay? Be open to new knowledge. Number 5, last but not least, unrealistic expectations. What I mean by this is where people, first and foremost, set a deadline to how much they want to make by a certain time, right? I'm going to make 10K per month by the end of 2024. How do you know that if you didn't set that goal, you wouldn't have made 100K per month by 2024, by end of 2024? You've now just limited yourself to making 10K per month by the end of 2024. You might say, no, I don't think I would have made 100K per month, but you never know. Instead of setting unrealistic expectations as to how much you're going to make, why don't you set actions required to make that amount that you need to do every single day to get to that point? And don't set a time limit. Don't even plan to it. Don't say, it's going to take me this amount of outreaches to get to 10K per month by this time. Don't even set a time. As I said in the beginning, instead of limiting yourself to 2 hours a day, just do as much as you possibly can do. I don't know if you can see my hands, but do as much as you can do. So again, don't set any unrealistic expectations because again, you might also try to set, 10K per month within 3 months and it doesn't happen. Then what? Are you going to give up on your dreams? Are you going to give up on that business because it didn't go to plan? Because your expectations were unrealistic, right? It works both ways. 10K per month within 3 months is not unrealistic. But then again, it could be unrealistic. It all depends on the actions that you put in. Because every action has a reaction. And the amount of actions you put in are going to form some sort of reaction. And that reaction is going to be how much you make within that 3 months. over in that 12 months, or by the end of 2024, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to keep this nice and simple. If you didn't watch my last video or 2 videos ago, wherever I was saying, my personal advice is when you're watching educational videos like this, put them on 1.25x speed or 1.5x speed. Why? Because if you're watching to learn, you need to know by now that time is one of your most valuable assets. So what better way to make use of your time than speeding up videos for you to take in information a lot quicker and be able to watch more videos, if anything. And what I was saying in my last video is, if let's say you've set aside an hour to watch educational videos, instead of watching a whole hour-long video at normal speed, you could have watched it at 1.5x speed, basically make it 45 minutes long, and now you've got an extra 15 minutes to watch another video. You're taking in the same amount of information in shorter amount of time and still being able to watch another video. And what you're going to start to notice is you're retaining information a lot faster and you're saving on your time. And it'll get to a point where I got to a point where I can literally watch videos on 2x speed and still understand it. It's difficult at first, right? When you start to hear people speaking very fast, it's difficult to take in, but it's a skill that you need to master, right? And you'll master it probably within a few weeks or a month, and you'll thank me later. Trust me. Definitely do that. And yeah, other than that, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe if this content's relevant to you as well. I've got nothing to sell you, no webinar, no email opt-in, nothing like that. Just a Telegram channel in the description. If you want to join it, go ahead. I'll accept you once I get a chance to. And yeah, other than that, I will see you in the next one. Take care.